Yo, what up guys? Welcome back to Sneaker Stories. As always, I'm your host Chris Jack. Today, just a quick review on one of the maybe more sought after 4D runners that have released in recent times. A pickup from last year around November. Without further ado, let's check out Adidas Energy Concepts 4D runner. Alright, so this shoe first popped up, I think, on the lead for Adidas Energy Concepts, Till Jagler. I think I'm pronouncing his surname half right. But I've been following him for a while, super cool guy. And he's posted like a couple of little tee shots of just the back section of the shoe, and everyone went crazy that's into 4D because it's just a colorway that's resonated with a lot of people because it's got beautiful neutral tones in the upper and then just one little hit of color towards the end of it. But we didn't really know too much about it, what it was it a collab, was it consortium? And then we started to learn about Adidas Energy Concepts, which is a division of Adidas, which is, I guess, similar to what like Nike Lab would be, but focused on like the best sort of collaborations ever. Like that whole Adidas A to ZX thing, I'm pretty sure that comes from Adidas Energy Concepts, and that team is just killing it in my opinion. With a whole bunch of really awesome releases, and this is one of them. Now in South Africa, it just appeared out of nowhere. There was no like kind of build up, kind of like a shock drop if you'd call it that, which I think was online or maybe just in store only at Adidas Original stores. I picked up my pair from the Waterfront Adidas Original store, and it was great because I had the opportunity to go and try it on, which is not something you usually get with a lot of the 4D runner silhouettes. Now the 4D runner silhouette is the most popular, I guess, out of all of them. It was the first ones that came out with the consortium releases. So things like the Invincible, which we'll talk about later. Obviously you've got the Aqua, which is another one which released recently, and other consortium models with the Kith Mid. There's another consortium mid, and all of the other ones, SNS, Foot Patrol. There's a lot of them, but this particular silhouette they kind of moved away from after the initial launch, and it's kind of like, nah, why are you moving away from that? That's the best one. And then they gave us other kind of silhouettes like Alpha Edge and two variations of that. This other consortium Evo, which didn't really do too well. I mean, that shoe is pretty much still on sale in a lot of places. But this is the one that people want, and I think this is the one that sells out the most, definitely. And I think the reason for that is just from a silhouette perspective. They look seriously futuristic on foot, super clean, and like kind of like what Ultra Boost used to give us back in the day. I know they got Ultra 4D now and all of that, but this is still the cleanest one for me. But anyway, onto the shoe itself. With the outsole, you've got the Continental flat rubber outsole here, just done in a plain black, and the midsole here, standard Aero green midsole that you would get with the 4D technology. And then moving into the upper, this is where the exciting part came, and there were some things that we didn't even know. Well, I certainly didn't know that this upper was completely reflective as well. So it's got a reflective 3M knit, which is weaved into the primed upper of the shoe, which I never knew until I bought the shoe, and that is really cool. But the one thing with that reflective 3M knit, and I'm not 100% sure if it's actually played a role, I've got two different theories, is that it might have made the primed upper of the shoe just slightly thicker than what we're used to with other consortium models, so like the Daniel Arshams and whatever, as well as the Invincibles. In fact, I'm going to bring the Invincible down here because this is a good comparison point for this review. They feel really, really tight on foot. And the one annoying thing about the consortium runner, which is probably why they moved away from it, and I still don't know why they don't offer the shoe in full sizes, like with half sizes as well. It only runs from, I think, like a 6.5 UK to a 10.5 UK. So anyone who's got bigger feet or smaller feet than that was pretty much about luck when it came to the runner silhouette. Obviously that presents a challenge for people like myself who are a full UK size, so I'm true to size UK 9. I only have the option of going with an 8.5 UK or a 9.5 UK. The 9.5 UK, which I have in the Arshams and some other pairs as well, those are really, really long on foot. Like they're actually too big for me if I'm really honest with myself. So I do have to take a half size down and go to the 8.5, which is fine. I've done that with the Aquas over here, which was my second last pickup before this pair, and these absolutely fit me fine. I mean, they're a little bit tight all the way around, but there's not enough to really complain about it or for me not to wear them. Like, I absolutely love the shoe. However, putting this pair on the Energy Concepts, it just like, it was uncomfortably tight. But then I tried a 9.5 on, which is a full size up from this one, a half size up from my true to size, and it was just too big. Like, I wouldn't be able to wear it, but I really wanted the shoe, so I decided I'm just going to buy it anyway. The price point was super reasonable for a change at 3,500 Rand here locally. And just to give you a comparison, like the Daniel Arshams, I know that had a special box or whatever, but most of these other ones were around like 5.5, 6.5, around there at retail price. So this is like half the price almost that this one came out, so that was a big win. But that's pretty much the reason I decided to get them. But now I'm getting distracted about all those other details. Let's get back to the shoe itself. It does have these fused overlays for the 3 stripes, which are just done in white. They aren't reflective or anything like that. The reflection really does come through just with that reflective knit that I spoke about that's weaved in there. Towards the heel, you've just got the standard embroidery patch here over that little heel counter, which just adds a little bit of structure to the heel section of the shoe. And then moving inside of the shoe, you do have these pretty padded heel sections here, which form part of that shape here that you get in the back of the shoe, and that's just got like a bit of an overlay, like a sticky overlay over it, to seal that padding in to the prime knit outer. The same thing happens on the reverse of the tongue. You'll see it there, that black section. It does have this padded section in it. It just gives it a little bit more shape. It's not just like this flappy piece of prime knit that's like, you know, on the top of your foot. It's actually pretty solid there. The laces, the one set of laces provided with these shoes, they do have 4D logos that are done on the aglets of them, which is a nice little touch there. The laces are just white and they do have 3M stitch throughout. However, they do provide you with 2 other sets of laces, in fact, which is a black with 3M stitching and a sort of pinky red matching up with this heel counter color with 3M stitch as well. All of those have 4D branding on the aglets, so you can change the shoe up quite a bit. It's quite a nice touch as well. And then just to move inside of the shoe, the insole over here is like an Ortholite insole. It's just got the pink coloring on here and the blue on the underside, and you've got the Adidas Originals logo, quite a retro one over here in the heel section of the shoe, and that is on both of them. Now, I alluded a little bit earlier to 2 theories I had of why this particular pair was fitting a little bit smaller than I was used to at 8.5 or half size down for me. And that's because the Strobel over here has got like a very thin layer of like synthetic foam, I guess. I don't really know what to call that. It's kind of like a mesh foam, but you can definitely feel a little bit of cushioning there underfoot that basically lines as the Strobel of the shoe below the insole. So that kind of would make the shoe a little bit tighter, like because there's obviously less room for your foot to be before it hits the prime knit upper. However, when I went back and looked at the Aquas, that had the same thing. And it was also present there, and I don't have the size issue. So I think perhaps that Strobel and the slightly thicker prime knit, if it is, might be the reason why they are a little bit tighter than usual. Just for reference sake, to show you what they used to look like, you just had a very thin layer of like clear sort of mesh over the 4D over there. So it wasn't really like adding another layer underneath the insole. And while I've got the shoe here, a lot of guys were drawing comparisons between colorways from the Invincible Consortium collaboration, which is definitely the most sought after 4D of all time, at least as far as resale prices go. These were extremely limited, and coloration wise they are quite similar. To show you them side by side, obviously the Invincible with the prism makeup of multiple different like rainbow knit colors within the prime knit gives it a bit of a green overall hue to it, whereas the Energy Concepts has got a little bit more of a gray tone to it. But there they are side by side if you guys were interested in seeing the difference between the two. I think this is probably a reason why this one has done pretty well from a 4D collector point of view, wanting to get that colorway in the collection. Now, if you are looking to get your hands on a pair of these, take my advice on the sizing thing. If you have the option to try them on, it's definitely just going to be the safest one. Like, it is a bit of a risky roll of the dice if you're used to just taking your normal size in the runner and getting that again. You might run into issues, so just rather heed caution on that and be able to try them on if you can. But if not, you are going to have to look to places like StockX, Goat, etc. to get a pair of these, as I don't think there were many of them here locally in South Africa, but maybe in your territories there were more of them, and maybe more of them available on the market. But on StockX and places like that, $180 to around $200 depending on size. So that's probably close on retail or under retail even for the shoe, which is great news if you are a fan of it. But that is it for this review of the Adidas Energy Concepts 4D Runner. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Do my best to answer you as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys back here with another review soon. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe right here for more content like this down the line. But that's all from me for today, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.